Hello everyone, welcome to Shanmugam IAS Academy. And today we are seeing editorial analysis of 27 October 2021, and the topic here is geodiversity and protecting India's natural laboratories. So we will be confusing. I am not talking about the laboratories. What you think? Here I am talking about India's natural. You have to note it down. The natural laboratories. So what are the first we need to know what is geodiversity. So geodiversity here refers to the variety of geological and physical elements of nature such as rocks, soils, fossils, landforms, and geodiversity and biodiversity. These both constitutes to form natural diversity of the planet of the earth. So the geodiversity and the biodiversity, these both constitutes to form nature diversity of the planet Earth. And I have told you what is geodiversity. Geodiversity is the variety of geological and physical elements of nature such as rocks, soils, landforms, fossils, everything. And this is in the news, and why it is in the news we will be knowing further. So if you want to take points, you can note it down, and if you have any queries after the session, you just tell us in the comment section. We would like to rectify that. And here is the introduction, like social diversity. India's geodiversity, a variety of the geological and physical elements of nature, is unique because India has very tall mountains, deep valleys we have, and we have active volcanoes. Where is the active volcanoes? These active volcanoes we have barren island in Andaman and Nicobar, and the diverse soil types we have, and that is the important fossil bearing sites also we have. So it is a long known as the world's natural laboratory for geoscientific learning. So as an introduction on this part will comes under the environmental ecology of the GS3 for the mains perspective, but so many questions from this the prelims point of view and the mains you have to frame like this, and prelims point of view also you will be getting questions from this, but you have to know first what is this. Now what are geo heritage sites? I have told you geodiversity, and what are geo heritage sites? What is geo heritage? That means that is the significant geological features such as the landforms and landscapes which are preserved. This word is important. Which are the landforms and landscapes which have significant history for the full range of values that society places on them. These are called geoheritage sites, which have a long history, the evolution of history to earth science that can be utilized for education. And who is the parent body here? Who is the authority, parent authority here? The Geological Survey of India is the parent body which is making effort towards identification and protection of geoheritage sites here. And here you need to know, because for everything there is a authority, there is a parent body. Here the parent body for these geoheritage sites and geoparks and geodiversity, the Geological Survey of India, which makes effort towards identification and at the same time the protection of geoheritage sites and the national geological monuments in the country. This you have to know. And what are some of the sites here? So we can see the Marina Gondwanal Fossil Park, and in the Chhattisgarh, and we have Stromatolite Park in Rajasthan. What is stromatolite first? First, there is a stromatolite park in Rajasthan. You need to know what is stromatolite. The stromatolite are the deposits which are formed by the sediments trapping and binding by the precipitation activities of the microbial communities. So the stromatolites are formed because of the deposition of sediments trapping and binding by the precipitation activities of the microbial communities. So that is called as stromatolite, and this is majorly found in Rajasthan. So this has been said to be the stromatolite park in Rajasthan, and we have other things, the Tirumala hills in Tirupati. this is also one of the sites, and Lonar Lake in Maharashtra is also one of the sites. And these are some of the sites. We have more than 30 sites in India, that is geological heritage sites I am talking about, not about the parks. I am talking about the sites. So I will come and we learn more about the further thing. What is the background for this? For background, the geological heritage of our planet, the importance of geological heritage of our planet was recognized in 1991. This background you have to know while you are reading and while you are writing also, and prelims and mains both are important. When this task was taken first, and it was recognized in 1991 at the UNESCO sponsored event, the first international symposium on the conservation of our geological heritage. So the first international symposium was held in 1991 at the UNESCO sponsored event for the conservation of our geological heritage. So this is the point. What is the background of this geological heritage of our planet, and the unique here, the establishment of the geoparks as sites that commemorate unique geological features and landscape within their assigned territories. Here, assigned territories means the world. We are talking about the world here. Everyone in their territory, they have their own geological features and their own landscapes, and we have to protect. We have to and we have to conserve these things and educate the public on this geographical importance. And this is the thing which went in 1991 UNESCO sponsored event. And after that, and to the economy, how it is helping for the economy. This promotes geotourism that generates revenue and employment. And this can be very boost to the economy of the country too. That is, the promote geotourism. Because of the geological heritage sites and geological parks, we can have the promote of geotourism that generates revenue and employment. And here there are totally in the world across 44 countries, we have 169 global geological geoparks. 169 global geoparks, but in India, the Geological Survey of India has identified 32 sites as National Geological Monuments. I am saying, please note this, I am not talking about the geological park, geoparks. I am talking about that the Geological Survey of India has identified 32 sites as National Geological Monuments. So the development, what are the unregulated activities? Then we come to the next stage. What are the unregulated activities? Why there are no more such sites here? Because of the unregulated activities. The concept of geoconservation has not found much traction in India. Despite there is a very much good progress in the international, but the concept of geoconservation has not found much traction in India. I will tell you a good example here. The high concentration of iridium in the geological section at Kutch region, we have a massive meteoritic impact that caused the extinction of dinosaurs about 65 million ago. The Kutch region, before the 65 million ago, there is a massive meteoritic impact, and we always studying the Jurassics that is the dinosaurs were there in the millions of years ago, and this is the reason there is said to be that the Kutch district, now which is the Kutch district is in Gujarat, there is evidence because the fossils of dinosaurs has been taken there. The massive meteoritic at that time, the massive meteoritic impact that caused the extinction of dinosaurs, and that can be an heritage site, and but what is here, this point is important, it was destroyed due to the laying of new rail track in the area. And it was destroyed, which area? This area, the Kutch region. So destroyed the laying of new rail track in the area. And other example also, there is a unique rock called Nephiline Syenite in Ajmer district of Rajasthan was destroyed in road widening project. So these are some of the unregulated activities I am talking about, and where we need to have so much of awareness and so much of education, and to conserve our national, that is geological heritage sites and geoparks, as we have seen in the event of UNESCO's event in the 1991, and the Lonar impact crater. The Lonar lake, I have told you, it is in Maharashtra, which is also one of the geological heritage site, and it is also under the threat of destruction. It is also under the threat of destruction. The conservation work now is taken still, but is under the state of destruction. And this conservation work is now progress under whom? Under the High Court's supervision. Under the High Court supervision, we have conservation work here, and we are inching towards, here I can tell you, we are inching towards the disappearance of most of our geological heritage sites. So that here it's very annoying and very this to say that unplanned and booming real estate business, many such futures have been destroyed. Because of this booming of real estate businesses, we have many of these sites have been destroyed. So we have to have the regulated activities. These unregulated activities has to be avoided. And another point is that lack of geological literacy in India. Actually, we are giving very much importance Geo Heritage and educational space. People find themselves acquiring badly needed geological literacy. And in the Indian classrooms, they view disciplines like environmental science and geology compared to how they view other pure subjects like physics, biology and chemistry. We are giving very much importance to physics, biology and chemistry. So here saying the disciplines like environmental science and geology in the Indian classrooms has to be given more importance and more awareness to be created. The education literacy is very much important here. And if there is no such activities, we will face a crisis like global warming, which we are already going through. So we have very higher impacts in the coming days. So we can see the crisis like global warming and the landscapes. The numerous cycles of tectonic and climatic upheavals are recorded in India in the rock formation and terrace. And if you go into climatic and the physical weathering, the chemical weathering, and you study the geomorphology, here you can know that the rock formation and terrains are part of the country's heritage. And I have told you already, the Kutch region in Gujarat has dinosaur fossils and is our version of a Jurassic Park. And Tiruchirappalli region of Tamil Nadu, that is, we call it in short form as Tiruchi, is originally a Mesozoic ocean. That is, the Mesozoic era is 16 million years ago. And you have to know what is Mesozoic ocean. What is Mesozoic era here? The Mesozoic era, this time the Pangaea broken apart and massive Panthasalar oceans broken into multiple basins. Because of the dividing of this Pangaea, we have this Panthasalar, that is the oceans broken into many basins, and the Tethys Ocean. This is important. The Tethys Ocean split Asia from the rest of the land, and Atlantic Ocean began to form. For what? Because of these tectonic activities, before 60 million years ago, the Tethys Ocean split Asia from the rest of the land and Atlantic Ocean began to form. Why I am telling this? Before 60 million years ago, the Tiruchi region, which is the land region right now, was an ocean at that time. Because of this tectonic activity, because of this Tethys Ocean, which splits this Asia out of the rest of the land, and Atlantic Ocean is formed. And this is called Mesozoic era, Mesozoic Ocean, before 60 million years ago. And what are the protection of geoheritage? How we can protect the geoheritage sites and geoparks? We have the Biological Diversity Act, which is implemented in 2002, and this has notified 18 biosphere reserves in India. This we all know. But geoconservation, here I am talking about the geoconservation, should be a major guiding factor in the land use planning. So conservation of the natural sites is the major guiding factor in the land use planning, and a progressive legal framework is needed. That is, the progressive legal framework is needed to support the strategies. And in 2009, what happened? We have constituted a National Commission for Heritage Sites. A bill was introduced in the Rajya Sabha of the Parliament, though it was eventually referred to the Standing Committee. For some unstated reasons, the government the backtracked and bill was withdrawn that time. So we are taking steps, but it was withdrawn. When we have to be very much important, very much focused on this geoconservation and geoheritage sites. And in 2019, a group of scientists, geologists met the Honorable Prime Minister of our country and concerned ministries, and they said the need for a national conservation policy under the direct supervision of a national body committed to the protection of geoheritage sites. So these geologists has met our minister and the Prime Minister, and they asked for the national conservation policy, the need for the conservation policies for the protection of geoheritage sites in our country. and this is a now after this, now I conclude by saying this: the Geological Survey of India has submitted a draft legislation to the Geo Heritage Conservation, that is to the Ministry of Mines in 2014, but it did not take any impact. So this is a very poor thing. Like Geological Survey of India submitted the draft legislation to the Geo Heritage Conservation to the Ministry of Mines in 2014, but the government apathy continues here. And the climate of the future is uncertain, because right nowadays only we are seeing so much of global warming and climate changes. The climate of the future is uncertain because we don't know in future what will happen, how the climate will change. So the decision making is difficult at the time. So we have to conserve our heritage sites. The geo conservation is very important, and the awareness and how it can be created. The awareness through educational activities in geo heritage parks will make it easy for us to memorize the past events of the climate change, because the geo heritage sites will have a very good history, and we are not seeing about today's thing. We are seeing the history. By seeing the history, we also know the climate change which happened at the time. So with these we can learn, we are aware that this time this was happening, because of that time the climate change was like this, and because of this educational activity we can learn how the climate change activities in the process of conserving the geo heritage sites. So this is the point I wanted to say, and this is a very important point which I have told you here. If you want to take it down and appreciate, and we have to appreciate the adaptive measures to be followed for survival. So on the whole, I'll say this, that geo conservation is that is the protection of the geo heritage sites and the geo parks, and the developing of the geo heritage sites is very important, and we have to take all the communities, and we have to take some way forward steps to conserve our ecosystem. And the earlier class I have told you about the forest ecosystem, which is also one of the geo environment ecology portion. So I conclude by this, and thanks for listening to me. And if you have any queries and comment tell us in the comment section, we'll try to rectify that. Thank you so much.